That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the Infinity Train Book 3 recap podcast, Cult of the Conductor. Dragon, I need an adult. I need an adult. This is genuinely one of the darkest pieces of quote-unquote children's animation I have ever seen, Dragon. This is, my God. I mean,
I knew this would happen if you binged it all.
oh yeah, oh boy. I mean, wow. Dragon, Infinity Train Book 3. I'm kind of speechless with it, man. There's a lot to unpack here, buddy. There's a lot to unpack. Here's the thing with Infinity Train for me. I've always really liked it conceptually. You know, I've always been really down for it. I feel like every season we've had moments that really push the bar, right? We've had moments where it's like, oh my God, like that's really going to stick in my mind. And we also have episodes that are like, hey, that's a really fun standalone episode. Dragon, this season, I think, is far and away the best season of Infinity Train. And it takes that kind of like level of darkness, and from episode 1 all the way until the finale, it just kind of stretches it up, and it goes in peaks and valleys. And I mean, ooh, episode 5, buddy boy, that was a rough sit. That was a rough fit. I know you did. Honestly, I could kind of see it coming because you warned me that something really fucked up was going to happen, but I was just like, no, they're not going to do what I think they're going to do, are they? No. No. I mean, Dragon, the most terrifying thing about this season is that the Simon character, of course, this is a spoiler cast, folks. I probably should have put that in the title. My bad, because by all means, if you haven't seen Infinity Train Book 3, we highly recommend it. You know, watch Infinity Train, like all of it on HBO Max. It needs your support. Every season is about the length of an average animated movie, so that, you know, it's a very easy show to binge. Dragon, you know, with all spoilers intact, I think the most terrifying thing about this season is how much I hate Simon, and yet how much I can kind of see my own insecurities in him at the same time. And that is fucking terrifying writing, man. It's, oh my God. Oh, Dragon, I am so, like, I am disturbed by this show, man. I am genuinely disturbed. I mean, you know, this is Don Bluth levels, man. This is super appropriate to be talking about in the midst of Bluth Timber, which will be starting really soon, folks.
Yep.
This is golden age Don Bluth, Dragon. It really, wow. I mean, like I said, I've always had a respect for Infinity Train. I've always, you know, certain moments have definitely kind of stood out to me. This whole season is like the height of Infinity Train. Like it never lets go. Oh man. All right, go ahead.
All right, thesis for me, keep it simple. So Owen Dennis, you know, the showrunner on Infinity Train, he continues to impress with this show. I mean, I love Infinity Train. I support everything about this show. It's exactly what it's the shot in the arm we need right now. It's definitely what Cartoon Network needed. Now, fun fact, I found this out. Apparently, Infinity Train. I don't know if you've heard of this or not. You probably figured it out. Regardless, it's that Infinity Train apparently was supposed to entirely be an HBO Max series, but HBO Max drug its feet so much in the development phase, it ended up on Cartoon Network.
I'm not surprised because, as you remember, that pilot showed up like a couple of years before the show came out, and it was one of those famous animation pilots that just kind of made the circles. It was like, hey, everyone wanted it like immediately. Like, hey,
I know, yeah, we were.
This a series, damn it!
I remember. I was very impressed by that pilot too. Mm-hmm. Of course, ultimately, kind of becomes like episode 3 or something. Mm-hmm. Origami Car. Anyway, so yeah, so it's kind of funny. It kind of found its way home again at the end of the day with kind of this 3rd season. So you know, so again, Infinity Train continues to impress with kind of this anthology arc kind of season approach. I mean, I was questioning each stage of Infinity Train. I keep questioning the lifeblood. This is great, I mean, that's the wonderful thing about this show. Every time you think they could go home with the win, like you kind of walk out on top, like you leave them wanting more in a sense. Like season 1, we don't need any more. We're perfect. Season 2, this is great, 2-part story. I mean, I love this show. I don't know how. I don't know. Again, it's not like I'm not saying never do anymore. I'm saying I don't know how they could possibly do anything next.
Dragon, I was, as you remember, I was
Mhm.
very much in the camp of season 1 being a standalone thing because Tulip's arc at that point
Yeah,
felt so complete.
exactly. It was kind of like a kind of bifurcated kind of thing with the Tulip and the other side of herself, essentially.
Right,
So it's going
right.
to be it's the ultimate book of Tulip, if you will, with the twofer.
Oh god.
And that's what I'm saying is that again, it's like I wasn't like when this was announced, it was like, oh, they're doing a 3rd season. I mean, okay, but I mean, I don't know how they're going to top what they did last season, but okay.
Oh, they did. Oh, they
That's
did.
what I'm saying. And again, it was so unlikely. And again, this is what I'm talking about with the Del Toro stuff. They introduce a character in the previous season, and they run with it going forward. This is what
I
I'm
can see
talking
that.
about.
I can see that. Yeah.
This is why we have anyway. So that's the thing. This premise just has not run out of steam, and as I initially feared, and again, it has not by any stretch.
This is the first season that's genuinely left me wanting more.
That's good.
And I don't say that in a bad way because I think both seasons are, very self-contained in very good ways. But this is the first season where I'm like, okay, if we don't get any more, that's great. But honestly, I want to see more now. Like, there's so many unanswered questions at this point.
Certainly, and again, it's absolutely. It really won me over. The point where it won me over on the Apex as the focus. Because initially, I was like, okay, we're doing the Apex thing. And of course,
I was, as you know, Dragon, as you know, I was very skeptical about the Apex as the focus. I was very skeptical about it.
See, here's the thing: the balance that they kind of won me over on is that you have like the Apex are characters that going into the season. Again, it could have gone either way, and it went the right way. Is that we, the audience, know these characters are misinformed because we've seen the first 2 seasons, and again, we introduced these guys, and the whole shtick was that okay, these guys they didn't see the first season. They didn't see it.
Right.
And here, it's so funny you bring up Don Bluth because you know what I had, and of course I know you've made this correlation many a time. But the biggest vibe I have for this season as a whole, this is a very Pete Docter season. I get a very Pete Docter vibe to this season. I
can see
it.
Pete Docter, sure.
I loved it, especially once Tuba becomes involved. It's very
well. I mean, with Tuba, there's also a very fucking spoiler alert, everyone. spoiler cast.
That's mean the imagined. Well, he was kind of like Kevin from Up, is what I was.
Well, I mean, no, it's like with Tuba, you've got to imagine there's a Mufasa Scar thing in there somewhere, right? Like this is like the version of Mufasa and Scar remade that's actually traumatizing.
See, let me tell you something, Tiki. When you say something like that, knowing, I bought unfortunately, the 2nd season hasn't come out yet, and I imagine the case is probably going to be the same with season 3 here. I got book 1 on DVD and have commentaries, and they're wonderful. Love it. And that's where I found out that because season 1 you had a bit of a phantasm reveal of the conductor, and I felt that I mentioned on the podcast and on the commentary they pulled it directly from Phantasm. So Tiki, dollars to donuts, it's a direct Mufasa thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because these are our guys. These are our types of guys manning the show, man. They love our stuff. They love what we love. Okay, anyway, so this show keeps getting bolder. I'm excited to talk about it.
Really quick, we got a comment from Orange Crush 76. Hey. Happy to see you, Orange Crush. There's a lot of people complaining about the final battle being too violent, but I loved it. Orange Crush, I mean, we'll go through it episode by episode to be sure. Happy to have you on board. I will say the final battle, I mean, it may have been violent, but I mean, oh my God, it definitely sticks out, I don't think it's the darkest moment in the season, but it's one of the dark moments. And I mean, like I said, just the whole season as a whole just kind of grabs you and doesn't let go. And that goes all the way up until the final battle. It's just riveting. All right.
All right.
So let's get right into it, folks. Let's go through the episodes one by one. We'll start with the musical car.
So, we reestablish and explore the status quo with the Apex and kind of the spin-off of it all. We kind of like get our feet wet, dip the toe back in. Like, okay,
you know what I was worried about, Dragon?
What?
I was worried that this was going to turn out like that potential freaking Stranger Things spinoff that thank God we didn't get.
Oh, right, with the siblings of 11, right?
Yes, yes, that was based off of that god awful penultimate. I believe it was the penultimate episode of season 2.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that. Yeah, it was like the penultimate.
Where it's just like, oh, hey, look, it's all the bad edgy kids. Oh boy! But no, like in saying, like if anything, this has an Oliver Twist vibe to it, and not like an Oliver and Company or Oliver Twist or an Oliver exclamation point Oliver Twist. No, like a straight Charles Dickens Oliver Twist vibe, man. I mean,
well, I didn't. You know what I got instead of Oliver Twist?
What?
Pleasure Island.
I can see Pleasure Island too. Yeah, it's.
I'm just saying it was a very.
Too.
See, that's where the Apex they kind of set their flag, and this is where they're slowly winning me over. Okay, we're definitely going with the Pleasure Island vibe, which is interesting. Like, okay, like these kids are behaving badly, and there's going to be consequence. Only difference is much like Pleasure Island, they don't know what the consequence is.
Mm-hmm.
So we established Grace and Simon, who again we met. I think Simon had we had Grace. Simon I think was there, but it was much smaller.
Simon was definitely there, but Grace was the one who had the arc.
Yeah, because they met Grace, and Grace led him to the Apex. And Grace was already in. She had the gold mask, which we see the gold mask one time. I like that we didn't keep her. I don't know. The gold mask is cool, but we smartly say, okay, we're like, oh yeah, you remember from last season she was the chick in the gold mask, and now Grace, we know her now, face behind the mask. All right. So of course, the idea of these guys, they're the leaders because they're the elder statesmen, the elder leaders of the new arrivals. All these new kids, they think they're saving these kids. They think they're again, unbeknownst to them, they're corrupting. They're kind of corrupting these kids and trapping them on the train. So that's the interesting with the Apex that we kind of spend more time with here is that they don't know they're doing harm, and you feel bad for them, but they just don't know.
I mean, Dragon, that's the thing with this season in general is that there's so many like deep psychological implications with this season. There's so much, and that's one of them. The whole like unintentionally causing harm, and oh man, but there's a lot. There's a lot. All right.
Let me tell you the bit where Grace really came alive from. It's not that I didn't like Grace last season. It was just like she was kind of shoehorned in towards the end. Basically, we need her to
be fair, we did get a reason to not like her last season.
Exactly, because the whole mirror thing. That's the thing. She was. I'm saying she was there to serve a need for the story. That's kind of why she was there. We didn't spend. She was there and very little mustache twirly because of that in that moment. But here's the thing: the bit that really won me over on Grace and kind of started the Grace train on Infinity Train, if you will, was the personal stash bit where the kids they pillage and do the whole thing, the musical car. Destroying all the nulls. Kind of
the sentient light bulb dragon.
I know. Well, the light fixture guy.
The light fixture. Yeah.
Of course, that poor guy. And of course, he's not even going to get killed. He's just going to be, kind of used like a trophy. And we see him later too, which is just sad. Honestly, I don't think he's not really even moving. He might just be a corpse. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
I mean, that's that told me right away that this Simon guy was kind of bad news.
Oh yeah. But this is what I'm talking about. I love like the mix match of it here, where again, like the personal stash, where these kids bring stuff they don't really need, but they say this is going in my special personal stash, but don't tell anyone. Again, they care about these kids. They're not evil. They think they're the heroes. Like many villains, they think they're the heroes of their own story.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing I love about Infinity Train most. I love the when you rewatch the show, so many wonderful setups and payoffs. Like the wheel, we set up the wheel, we set up the relationship of the nulls. We have a very Roger Rabbit sequence with that light fixture. It's like the shoe from Roger Rabbit, practically.
Oh my god, very much so. Yes.
We tease up the lethal implication. We tease up the dip within the wheeling, but we don't quite see it yet. Well, that comes later. Also, Grace, anti-Tulip. In terms of our protagonist, Grace, she's very anti-Tulip or MT. Basically, the pairing, if you look at Grace and Simon, they're kind of like MT and Jesse from last season, just kind of like reversed.
Yeah.
All right, the turtle car. That's a big clue as to what happens later.
Yeah, of course.
I felt really bad when we tortured the poor turtles in that car because we've been there, man. And
we have
that poor turtle with the phone. They broke into us. That's not breaking in. There's no doors in the house.
First of all, I want to say I was really relieved with the fact that like we were getting the the usual formula of Infinity Train once again with the pairing and then the meeting up with the side character with the new characters that would be focal points, like in the episodes following the premiere. Because I got to say, I was really worried. The one thing I was worried about with the apex of it all was I was worried that they were going to completely break formula and that it wasn't going to be kind of like a road movie type thing, which every other season's been. And nope, with the inciting incident at the with the turtle car, it's that very much gets subverted, and we're on our usual Infinity Train adventure from the end of the first episode.
Yep, and again, very fitting they visit that car given what happens, which leads to the self-reflective odyssey that is about to unfold.
All right, episode 2, the jungle car.
This is where things get interesting, kids.
So in terms of the setting, Dragon, I know that you're not a big James Cameron Avatar fan, but surely you must have some interest in Pandora from a theme park point of view.
It is a very Pandora-esque jungle.
It's very Pandora-esque, yes. I gotta say, especially as someone who's been to Pandora.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I did appreciate it.
The translucent effect on the rocks and everything's pretty good.
Because I am someone who will be like a total champion for like the fact that Pandora as a theme park environment way better than Pandora as a movie. But anyways, so we were introduced to the two kind of side characters. I like they're not really side characters, but the 1-1 and Atticus of the season.
Certainly. Well, here's the thing. I love that Tuba's kind of a red herring when you really look at the end of the day. Tuba is the Atticus role, or Alan Draco, if you want to go by last season. Kind of the Atticus slash Alan Draco.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Null that they come across, so they pronounce Null that okay, it's a talking dog, or okay, it's this weird deer thing. And of course that's the initial role. And of course, given what happens to the Tuba, we learn why exactly that's a mystery. We think, okay, the Null is gone, null and void, if you will. Not exactly the case, and I think that's a really clever thing they did with that on the rewatch. So one thing I want to mention too with the really great kind of evolution of things here, where again we went from Tulip being kind of the solo job to again kind of two people being kind of our protagonists last season too. We now have two protagonists who are pros at work once they enter the jungle car. They're on the adventure. These guys. They're there. They've been there. They've been on this train for years. They're not like Tulip or Jesse, where they've just been there like on figuring it out as they go. These guys, they have a plan. We got to analyze the car. We got to know what the weaknesses are, so we can kind of make sure we don't get wrapped up in stuff here. We don't get caught and all that sort of stuff. So it's really great subversion of what we've come to expect after 2 seasons. They're thinking on their feet this season.
It's still the usual formula that we're used to, but it's in a different light. So I think that's a good combination.
Exactly. So Tuba and Hazel. So Hazel, nice little girl.
The thing that I think is the most just powerful about Hazel is the fact that oh boy, Dragon, in terms of the Dawn Bluth of it all, the voice actress for Hazel is like Barcy-esque in I don't want to have any dark implications behind that, of course. But I say that in a very complimentary way because she's Barcy-esque in the fact that she's just she's a very genuine voice. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a Hollywood kid if you get what I'm saying. It feels very natural.
It's not someone milking the kid thing. It feels like an actual kid.
Right. It's and because of that, Dragon, given just the goddamn journey that this character is going to go through on this season. I mean, it's raw, powerful stuff, man. It really is.
Most certainly. I love that we set up like this great mystery of why is the girl with a number, but it ain't glowing? Why is it not glowing? And again, we've subvert things we come to expect. Like, okay, we had someone in search of a number. Now we have someone with a number, but it's not glowing. What does this mean? What do we do with this? And I love how tender Grace is with Hazel. And again, this is us developing Grace, where she's really good with kids because again she's kind of like she in a sense like most of these kids in the car, they're kind of robbed of their childhood, so she really values the time that she had, so she's good with Hazel versus Simon who has like the dire approach of, listen, we got to get from point A to the apex right now, man.
And of course with Simon we have to track how he goes from kind of like sort of like misguided comedically militaristic towards Oh boy, baby, one of the most hateable villains in animation history, I would say.
Yeah, Simon goes on a path here, and again, this is the I love the Pete. This is where we get into the Pete Doctor of it all. Not only just in kind of our introduction of kind of our Kevin and Doug figures, if you will, but more so, we kind of have the setup of a promise and a betrayal amidst the budding arc, where
Mhm.
we have the sort of like, okay, Hazel and Simon, Grace and Simon are going to try to wean Hazel off the null because one, they can't take because it's an awesome looking giant purple gorilla with tuba arms and an onion head. Looks awesome.
Yeah, it is a pretty kick-ass
I was
design.
already sold. The minute I saw Tuba, oh my god, Tuba's awesome. It's not just like I thought it was gonna be like a one and done. They would know Tuba's gonna be a mainstay. It's gonna be awesome.
Also, were you surprised that she wasn't a mute character?
Yeah, I really was
Because
too.
when she
Yeah,
first showed up, it was kind of like, I like how they kind of, because of course with um Alan Dracula from last season, it's
yeah, didn't say a word.
yeah. So with this, it's like she shows up, she's very silent but powerful, and we're like, okay, another mute character, and then it's like, no, she's just shy, she's just soft spoken.
Yeah. By the way, Diane, I recognize. I know the voice actress on Tuba. It's Diane Delano. She had done work for the DCAU. She's played a lot of apocalyptic women, a lot of strong. A lot of strong women, strong female characters from the Superman animated series. So good,
Nice.
really good pull. Okay, all right. So we're off on the adventure. We now have two guys tagging along here, two people tagging along. All right.
All right, the Debutante Ball Car.
Of
Ooh,
course,
fancy.
it's one we're on kind of like a train odyssey of some sort, but more importantly, who better to guest star in this one? Alfred Molina. It's just like the wall. We got Molina.
Man, Milena he's really good at picking his animated roles, isn't he?
He is. He is. My God, Molina just he rocked. Of course, he plays a living. I love the design of this character. He plays a living chandelier who can then transform this really cool, like kind of dapper looking guy with a chandelier head. This humanoid form. He looks awesome.
Oh god. So of course, I don't know, to tell you the truth, this was probably one of the episodes that is the least memorable of the season. I don't say that in a bad way. It's a good stepping stone episode for, the new characters to get ingrained with the characters we've been following. So that's pretty much the arc for the episode.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, we do get a moment. I know we kind of pay it back, we kind of flesh it out more in episode 5, but still, we introduce it here, and this is a big moment when you're watching it for the first time. The moment with Tuba, where we learn that Tuba had children, but
Mhm,
not
mhm.
anymore, which leads to Hazel. So again, we're building upon the theme we're building upon this theme of adding layers to nulls, and again, kind of the AI question of it all, like the was the purpose of the train, and like there's this unknown ambiguity about these are projections, but these are projections with emotions and a past. Does that
Right.
make them real or not? Kind of the age old question of like are artificial beings real people?
Yeah, and this is where the season just goes into some really. I mean, there's a lot of dark territory here, but
But that's what I'm
just the
saying. With the soft spoken character, we do so much with it, right? So little.
oh yeah, with a soft-spoken character who's on screen for 4 episodes, no less.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
Okay, and of course Hazel, we get the established, like, the brave runner, and man, I gotta say Hazel is just a genuinely heartbreaking character. Because there's really no resolution for her by the time we get to the end of the season. She's just left completely alone and broken, and she tries so hard, though. Is that she's just kind of this determined little kid who's just gone through a lot, but is just trying to have a good outlook, and it's. Man, I gotta say, this season is just going to be hard to rewatch on an emotional level, just knowing where it all ends up.
So speaking of rewatch, again, clues about Grace's past come out in this one, where again, like we set up the ice cream memory, like the whole like the exclusion from the ice cream
Right,
party after
right,
the dance
right.
class.
Yeah.
So set that up here, and also again, this is Grace. I like how we have the progression. And again, we dip back into the formula a little bit, but subtle, a little more subtle, where Grace, unbeknownst to her, her numbers going down because she's facing she's dealing with her past. She's getting there. She's making progress, and her number's going down. She hasn't not realized it yet, but it's interesting stuff. Also, this episode kind of a cutesy thing, like a little cute dance number and fancy duds. I don't know, it's cute. Okay.
I do think that Hazel's ridiculously oversized outfit is pretty adorable.
Unknown last name. The whole he's announcing her.
By the way, I really like the fact that Hazel is a little kid who wears a tie as part of her design.
Yeah,
that's a good detail.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anyways, okay, so the Chat Chalet Car.
Yes, so this is a big return of the cat.
Yeah, the cat kind of, given her usual 2 episodes a season.
Yep, Kate Mulgrew doing the voice of the cat from who was actually Red Claw from Batman the Animated Series, doing kind of her Eartha Kitt.
It's Red Claw? Are you serious?
Yeah, remember the voice of Red Claw, Kate Mulgrew. She does the voice of the cat.
I'm sure you told me that before,
yeah,
but that's wow.
But it's so funny though. She's been on Batman. She always does kind of like an Eartha Kitt thing with this cat character. Also, I don't know if we got this last season, but the cat has a name, Samantha.
I think this is the first time that we've heard the name. I think so
too.
And it's probably because, of course, Simon has such an intimate relationship with her.
Of course.
So, getting into that, Dragon, I feel like they made Simon's reaction to the cat and, it essentially being the catalyst to him kind of having this sort of, this sort of like blanket hatred of all the Knowles. I think they left it a little ambiguous as to if it's justified or not. What do you think?
I'd agree because we see the moment later on. I think it's pretty clear cover. Basically, Simon definitely has abandonment issues. That's Simon's big thing, and I love how Grace and Simon are kind of linked by loneliness. That's kind of like that. That's a big link for them. Where Simon was abandoned on the train by himself, and also in a really compromising, really vulnerable position where he could have been a goner. And Grace was there for him. That's kind of why these two kids are kind of are linked. And again, this episode is very much Simon's episode. He is forced again where Grace kind of inadvertently was confronted with her past. Like she's slowly progressing, where Simon is regressing from this episode onwards, as the two of them are on their destined paths for the end of the season. This one and the previous one, he's confronting his past with the cat. As the gang is snowed in by a blizzard, and of course. We don't see it. We can just assume Simon's number is going up during all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon's fatal flaw is codependence, I feel.
Oh, Dragon, not like that. That's something I can't relate to at all, right? Am I right? That's kind of what I was talking about when it comes to like this character is kind of like I hate him, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a mirror image of myself, and I hate that as well. I don't know.
The big takeaway is that the cat has no defense. Again, the cat is seen in a parental role as like, why'd the parent walk out on the kid? And there's no defense. Right. The cat knows that. So I think there's absolutely like, it's up in the air because the cat does feel remorseful, and the Knowles have a purpose, but no one, it's so ambiguous. We the audience can't make 100% call. So I think you're absolutely right.
Sure. Okay. Anything else about, of course we have to talk about,
Randall.
Randall. He's great, but I was also going to mention, what's the pancake guy's name? Frank?
Yeah, Frank the Bear, man. Frank the Bear.
He just wants to make allergy friendly pancakes, man. I love that he's concerned specifically with the allergies of it all. That's a great little character touch. And as someone who kind of suffers from food allergies, it's great. I liked it. Okay, hold on, Dragon. We have a good comment here from Golden Deer Best House. Hey there, nice to see you. They say, think Simon is a complex character with flaws. While his actions are inexcusable, he is just as much a victim of the train's ways. He is an amazingly tragic villain, and his voice actor really sells this. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I think I like, while Simon is, I mean, of course, we're about to get to the episode that really is going to be his, the calling card moment of his villainy. He is amazingly complex and, very much a victim in a certain sense. And, I feel like this season in a lot of ways is kind of great, this is going to sound super pretentious, but it's like, it's kind of like life, you know? And, what I mean by that is
Like
like,
cereal, kids.
what I mean by that is like, you know, with life, sometimes it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you deal with the cards that you're dealt. And I feel like Simon and Grace are two excellent like sides of that coin in a way. All right.
Absolutely. And also, again, the charm of Infinity Train as a concept is, again, like seeing the real world problems, again, seeing them explored in a really great and compelling way. Again, seeing abandonment kind of explored like it is through Simon. Again, I know kids, if kids are watching this, they would, many of them, I'm sure, could connect to this depending on their upbringing. You know, it's something.
Oh,
Very
absolutely. And of course, Tulip with the divorce storyline in
I
season
know, that's what
one
I'm
as
saying. We
well.
keep doing this so well. And of course, like the bullying thing with Jesse and his brother, where he kind of accidentally, really hurt his brother's feeling. That's what I'm saying. We're doing great stuff like that. And again, Tiki, narratively, this is also perfect because again, it's all flowing so perfectly. And given where we go in the next episode, it's wonderful. The puzzle pieces are coming together, man.
All right. So speaking of the next episode, Dragon, it's oh, look at that, Dragon. Look at that. It's the color clock car. I mean, doesn't that just sound like just a charmingly simple, innocent episode? Nothing like this is just going to be a nice fillery episode where nothing bad's going to happen. What the fuck?
Now they pulled this before in the first season with the ball car, and it's still a fantastic. That's the episode of the whole Atticus that we do a National Lampoon thing with Atticus. But still,
Dragon, this was definitely a. I mean, I don't really like. I don't really want to bury the lead on it. I mean, I kind of want to like just kind of round back to the rest of the episode here. We got to talk about that ending, man.
Yes, the MVP moment of the season.
I was genuinely screaming at my computer watching it, Dragon. I really was. I was
in shock.
Oh man, I I mean, like we were saying about Simon, this is like an absolutely inexcusable, irredeemable moment for him. But as I was saying, it's less about his actions and more about, this is his reaction. It's the cause and effect of it all. This is his built up, pent up reaction to like years of, being a victim. And I don't know, man, it's such a powerful moment. And of course, the thing that really shocks me is the fact that he's so cold about it to Hazel at the end of the episode.
Well, it's even, here's the thing. It's not even that he's cold, Tiki. He's not cold. He's warm about it. He's saying,
true.
"Oh
That's
yeah,"
true.
he's with like a smile on his face. Like he's not hiding this. He's not dumbing it down for the kid. No, he's saying, "Yeah, I wheeled her for her own good." And then just Hazel just runs away. It's horrible.
Oh, and yeah, by the way, Hazel's a turtle creature. That's like the third most shocking thing that happened.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much. Okay, so there's a lot to do. We're going to try to decompress it here, folks. Here, let's. Okay, so yet again, the MVP moment of the season with that moment for sure. And again, it's so well built upon, so well. And again, like we show directly where Grace is progressing. Simon, he's going the opposite way. Where ordinarily, hey, Simon's learned something from his experience with the cat, and Tuba has opened his eyes, and they're going to be friends. And eventually, he'll come to the same realization that Grace does. Right. Wrong.
Exactly.
Or no, that's what I'm saying. I love narratively. This is why I love the show. Is that again we present this season's all about the opportunity for change. And this is wonderful how we broach that with Simon here in that moment where is the opportunity for change, and we set it up earlier in the episode. I'm going to talk about it earlier in the episode. We're going to put a pin in this. We're going to come back.
Okay.
A lot of good stuff. Okay, so again, gobsmacking opportunity for change episode. All right, so we have the misdirect yet again with our happy filler episode with Roy, their boy.
Oh God.
The color clock little null guy.
Oh man, I forgot. Dragon, the thing about this episode is that like the end sticks out to me so much. I totally forgot there was even a dumb comic relief distraction.
And again, very very much like Ron Funches' khaki bottom.
Exactly.
The most kid friendly, cutesy. Like, oh, this is a fun car, man. Like, solve a little puzzle. Oh, this is cute. And basically, the message that again we need here, and this is the big misdirect for the arcs of our characters here. It's a teamwork. A reliant puzzle on a color timer, to get a key to unlock the door. So the episode's about trust and bonding. Our pairings here, we have Grace and Hazel, which basically this is also interesting. Let's not lose any of this too. It's like Grace and Hazel. Essentially, this is Grace explaining bigotry to a child,
Mhm.
which again, that's bold stuff on our quote unquote kids show. And of course, this contributes to Grace's growth. Again, she says, "No, Tuba's one of the good ones," and of course, that's a very these days it's a very big statement, one of the good ones. And again, it's like bigotry from the it's kind of not just to make it all topical. Take it bigotry from the '70s. Take your Archie Bunkers, how how he would relate to the Jeffersons and Lionel and everything. It's very interesting.
Exactly.
So of course, I think Tuba has. Here's the best line of the episode. Okay, Tuba has like, Roy's at a 10. I need him to be about a 6.
Yeah, and then when the two kind of share a laugh about that, it's like, oh, okay, they're friends now. That's how animated cartoons work, right?
Certainly, of course. Like it can't go the other way. So, but again, this is where we kind of learn. Oh, this is on HBO. Anyway, so Simon learns about Bugle, Tuba's daughter. This is a big moment. This is where we really kind of learn about the loss. So again,
And again, Greg, going by the animated formula, it's like, oh, Simon sees the humanity in the Knowles. He sees that they're not just things, that they're actual living people with souls and feelings and backstories. Surely he's seen the error of his ways now.
there's a path that is not taken here, where there's a path in which Simon realizes that not all Knowles are out for themselves. Some of them are going to stand by their kids the way that he wanted the cat to stand by him. The way Tuba lost a kid, found Hazel. You'd think, oh, that's going to melt his heart. They kind of solve the puzzle together. We have this moment. And again, this is the wonderful red herring. This is the setup, the foreshadow. There's a moment where Simon, they have to work together, and basically Tuba's climbing up a thing, and Simon has to help her.
Mm.
And he does.
Oh yeah. I definitely noticed that foreshadow for sure.
I know, it's so brilliant. I feel like such a dope for not realizing, but it was awesome. So then, of course, big moment as it is, where again the car shifts. Tuba has to save Hazel by throwing her across, and again they have they sing their little song, the Easy Peasy song, which of course is going to break your heart next episode. and again, so Simon is sent to save Tuba as she dangles, and again set up in the color car as of course, shocking choice not to change, which again is always the interesting choice as well. By the way, folks, the choice not to change. The more difficult choice is usually the way things should go, and again they went the smart way here. So, but again, you didn't expect it to be this graphic. They expect like, oh, Tuba's going to come back alive later, right? A part of me thought, okay, it's going to like Tuba's going to fall, or she's going to reveal like in like instead of like the big turtle reveal, it's like, oh, Tuba's alive. That's what we're going to do. Tuba's getting mad. No, Tuba got wheeled, man. Tuba's dead. Bing bong style, my friends. Like, oh god, you're no person. Haunting line, dead. Lightning.
I mean, Dragon, I genuinely think this might be like more nightmare inducing than the Lion King. I really do. Because like you don't necessarily see the body like you do in the Lion King, but goddamn if you don't get a lot of emotional aftermath afterwards.
It's just the coldness and the misdirect. It's like you feel betrayed as the audience. Like, no, I'm not supposed to go. What are you doing? No. So, of course, then the bigger reveal. How can it get any bigger, you say? We reveal our somehow this girl. Again, the mystery, the plot thickens with the mystery on this girl. She is somehow part Knoll Turtle, as she weeps in anguish over her dead friend and perennial figure. It's heartbreaking.
All right.
All right.
Episode 6, the Campfire Car. I mean, this might as well just be Iroh's segment from the Tales of Bossing Say Part 2. Yep. Am I right?
Yeah, this is the aftermath of the shock and awe of Episode 5, for sure.
I mean, god damn, this might be even more sad than... Like, Episode 5 was shocking, but this is just straight up sad.
This was very Blue-themed, I gotta admit.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So yeah, this is all about grief and the confusion of figuring yourself out after a tragedy, like putting the pieces back together. That's what this one's all about. We also have like some really horrific body horror stuff with the turtle transformations on Hazel, as she's processing. Remember, Grace has to tell Hazel what death is.
You know what the most disturbing line was for me?
If I promise to be good, will she come back?
Well, man, there's a lot of disturbing lines, but no, just the whole I'm afraid of the wheels.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, please don't let him wheel. I'm afraid of the wheels. That whole thing.
Oh man, if this is what I'm talking about, Drake. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the voice actress for for Hazel, where it's like, this is not inauthentic child acting. This is just a child, like, I mean, genuinely speaking, you would think, like, I'm sure this kid, she really doesn't sound any older than like 7 or 8, right? It's like, so genuinely speaking, I'm sure the writing on this character alone probably upset her a little bit on an emotional level. I feel like there's some genuine emotional reactions here from this kid that we're getting in the recording booth.
Oh, I'm sure. So we do that again with the Pixar-esque quality as well. We have that Pixar-esque kind of follow-up to a theme, and this is what I love. I love this sort of thing too when we do an animation, where it's the her saying to Grace in conversation, "I'm kind of a null. Do you hate me? Because you said you hated too." But no, I didn't hate too. But that whole thing where again Grace is starting to see the lines are blurred. It's not all again the whole bigotry theme where, do you hate me? Of course I don't hate you, Hazel. And of course, well, what did you just say about nulls though? So again, we're blurring the lines. A child fearing her murder because of something she can't control, which is a horrifying and really, really striking idea.
After she just lost her mother figure.
Mm-hmm. And again, of course,
she's going through a terrifying transformation.
Yep, and again, there's a deeper.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, this character is so tragic. This character really rocked me, dude.
Oh yeah. Of course, there's a parallel again. The other real life connect that again, Infinity Train does so well here, I think, with the Hazel story, which again, like now the playbook is entirely changed. And we're riveted, where the parallel seems to be to the imperfections and defects that people hide from the world. I think that's very much like everyone has their own proclivities that or their own self doubts. In this case, are physicalized. In some cases, like someone like a Tourette's or something, it's like it's something like that where you can't control it, but it's always that you have to present normal face, or else something bad might happen to you.
It's what I love about this too is that I love how realistically throughout the next few episodes, Hazel goes through the 5 stages of grief, but she doesn't go through them in any sort of defined order.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, she does.
Like, that is super fucking realistic, Dragon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's no like direct kind of playbook for the 5 stages of grief. It's just like we list them out that way, but you can always shuffle them up. It's
right, right. All right.
Where's the funeral?
Course, oh my! I mean, just like I said, Tales of Ba Sing Se Part 2. That's what this is.
So, and speaking of Hazel losing her mother figure, I kind of noticed something. You can tell me if I'm crazy.
Okay.
By all means. I kind of picked up on like a perennial theme here with Grace and Simon, in that Grace has the softer touch, where we have like the hard-nosed fathers, like just rub some dirt in it, move on, like bury shove it down, like the Bill Burr school parenting, if you will.
I mean, I would say up until the Clock Car episode, that's the case, but like, I mean, episode 6 on, Simon, at least in in Hazel's eyes, if not the audience's eyes, is a monster.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like in kind of like a scary father.
Maybe sure.
That's what I'm saying. There you have like the hard-nosed father who, again, is like maybe an abusive figure now, especially in the aftermath of things. But the point is, you have to placate the authoritarian parent versus the soft touch of the more kind of matronly parent in Grace. She's the softer touch, like in basically this whole funeral thing that Simon's like utterly insensitive, and it's like we're starting to see how far gone Simon really is. There's no sensitivity whatsoever, and Grace is pointing this out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the rock in the tree, really nice touch.
Yeah.
All right. So beautiful eulogy, and that's it.
The Canyon of Golden Winged Snakes car. That's not a mouthful at all.
So, she came in at the end of the last episode. We're just going to focus on her right now. Big Amelia continuation. Amelia's back.
And of course, this is just going to throw a whole other wrench of just like, on top of all the other mental illness stuff we've been dealing with this season, Dragon. What if the thing that you've been fighting for virtually, for like
since your childhood.
Yeah, since your childhood. It's just a lie. It's just a straight up lie. It's just all completely fabricated. Just none of it is real.
And not just that, you're culpable in it for yourself and for other kids. That you essentially basically realizing, hey, this lie you bought into, you've created a cult. By the way, good luck with that.
Oh God, I mean, this is what I'm saying with this season. It just keeps piling shit on.
So, so Amelia, let's see. So Amelia here in the continuation story, she's trying to make amends. This is really nice progression for her. She's trying to make amends for the takeover of season one and trying to get her number down. Which, as seeing
Oh,
how many numbers she's got on her, that ain't gonna be a quick process. It's like my name is Earl with like the Rick and Morty renewals. That's gonna go on
oh
forever.
God. Oh God. No, don't remind me of the Rick and Morty renewals. Oh God. Anyways, I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
so she's on a journey to fix the glitches, and again, I love how the mystery's coming together with these elements. And again, it really comes in we kind of learn everything in the next episode. But we're kind of teeing it up so well here, where she's fixing these glitches that she had a hand in starring, hence the turtle car and everything else.
Uh-huh.
There's very much a theme of control in this episode that Simon takes on Amelia's flaw as we kind of like see him unravel when he revisits the cat. Like Simon feels he's losing control of Grace, in which he shouldn't have to feel in control of Grace or anything. That whole thing. He's losing
Oh
control.
yeah. And I mean, Dragon, just like I said, man, that's kind of the scary thing about Simon is that these are all very like, like I don't want to say relatable issues, but like, being possessive without meaning to be possessive is, I feel like, something that a lot of people who have been in relationships, especially like young people, can relate to. It's like when you're in a relationship and you're young and it just means everything to you. It just, it can get to a point of just, I don't know, like I said, like I've certainly never acted like Simon in any sort of relationship I've had, but it's still just like, it's an uncomfortably relatable feeling, my friend. It really
Yeah, well,
is.
of course, the difference too is that Simon is second guessing anything. That's the big, that's the thing. If you don't second guess it like Simon is, then there might be a problem.
Of course, right.
Simon's just he assumes he's right because and this is the interesting thing. I was wondering how they're going to approach it since the cell of earlier in the season of okay, these guys, we the audience know they're in the wrong. How are we going to approach it so logically? Well, what if they came across the fake conductor? Who would know? Good idea. Okay, so anyway, so of course we reintroduced the idea of the tape extraction. Basically, we did this with Jesse last season, and now we're kind of doing a little kind of more travel-sized version of it here with the ultimate violation of trust. You're going to extract tape from Grace's head when she's sleeping to watch like the raw film, essentially from her noggin.
Oh yeah, this is just gonna like start like a 2 episode arc that's just terrifying.
Yep. So of course, ultimately, we're looking for anomaly and a glitch, and I love that they know Hazel is essentially in that vein right now. Hazel, we know something's off with Hazel, therefore she's kind of glitchy. Therefore, we have a problem. We got to ditch Amelia, man. We don't know if we can trust her or not. So that's going to lead us into the next episode.
All right, next episode, the Hey Ho Whoa Car.
Yep.
I don't even know what these titles anymore, Dragon. I
Well,
don't
I'm
trust
pretty.
it.
If I'm right, I want to say this one. It's like the Falling Rocks. They would say, "Hey ho, whoa." I think that's why it was called. Of course, correlation wise, it's that we have a lot of revelations here about Hazel. It's like, hey, ho, whoa, what?
Of course, yeah.
This episode is very much about trust and the loss of trust, the whole trust centric kept. I know we kind of had that with the color car, but the color car was like more of a other things going on too. So Amelia tries to earn the trust of the kids here, and again, basically we have Amelia here. We kind of we see Amelia. She's not good with kids, but she's trying. She's trying here. Like she's making eggs and everything.
Yeah.
We have the big inevitable conversation about the origin of the Apex, where she's got like a sign shield, she's got like the voice, and of course they have
And
a
I'm
big
sorry,
conversation.
Dragon. I'm realizing I kind of jumped the gun on that reveal. Like, these 2 episodes kind of blended together for me a little bit in my,
They do, but again, we kind of knew where it was leading. So the point being, this is where they have the conversation, the whole flagrata of it all here, where it's like she's the, she was the fake conductor, and again, this is where we blow up the minds of like, oh, everything you knew was a lie.
God. Yeah, and man, like I said, it's just mentally just kind of a lot to deal with. And do you think this is the thing that sends Simon over the edge?
I I would let me put it this way. This is the thing. Yeah, it sets him off the edge, but not on the edge. He's not. He's not questioning anything where Grace is questioning everything. So again,
Uh-huh.
the whole two sides of the same coin. Yes, they absolutely, but in different ways.
All right, all right.
Like they're coming to grip. It's like coming to grips with the worship of a false god after all this time, and again the damage you've inflicted onto others as a result of this, and the rejection of. And again, he's rejecting this status quo shift. Again, he's refusing the change where Grace is trying to come to grips with the change, and to his desperation for status quo leads leads to this whole like the thing where he doubles down, like going into Grace's mind and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So we big reveal about Hazel though, man. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, go for it.
So Hazel, we learned she was a failed attempt at recreating Ulrich. The the Matthew Rhys character from. Sorry, I think I'm butchering his name. The point being, the guy from Won't You Be My Neighbor, right? Matthew Rhys, is that it?
Yeah, gotcha.
Anyway, so the point being that the Aura character, who of course was kind of our phantasmy misdirect, she was trying to recreate her lost love, which is why she did the whole thing with the conductor. So so essentially, this was like an attempt at creating life, which of course it revolved around the turtle thing, which just went awry. And basically, anytime she did like a little search, a little pulse thing, that's what caused the cars to go all the way back or eject. We don't know what happens to these cars; they might be gone forever for all we know. I assume they went to the back, but they're ejected. I don't know. So this is not good news for Hazel.
No.
Yep, and they're waiting for the pit to fill overnight, and Simon, he uses the extracting tape on Grace, which, of course, he has the big epic footage thing here, like, oh god, like, let's not tell Simon about this whole Null thing, which is like complete betrayal, and this is absolutely what sets him over the edge of the revelation was already putting him in doubt. This is like, and Grace betrayed me, I'm alone again. That's what sets him off.
And then Golden Deer Best House speaks to this. They say the theme of lies is really huge in this book. Yes. Indeed. Golden Deer, very much so. You know what I love about that, Dragon, is that the liar reveal trope is something that everyone bitches about with animation. And this season is just like, oh, we're going to build a season on liar revealed. And it's going to be amazing.
Oh, one more thing, Simon, before we move on. I love that Simon versus Amelia. It's very much literally the arrogance of youth versus like reflective
arrogance
maturity.
of youth.
Literally, that's like what the whole dynamic is. He's arrogantly assuming he's right, which is what the whole Apex is all about. Like the Pinocchio effect. It's all about the Pleasure Island of like we're young, we're right. We're gonna do what we feel like versus like, well, think about it. What are you doing, man? It's terrible. Okay.
Also, Dragon, this was something that I've kind of seen in speculation. Do you think there's any significance to the fact that they drew attention to Amelia calling 1-1 just 1?
Huh, I didn't think about that.
Because normally I would just think it's a nickname or a shorthand that Amelia uses. But the fact that I feel like Grace brought it up and called attention to it like more than one time, I don't know. I just the fact that I feel like it was called attention to just kind of sets my radar.
I didn't notice that
because
I remember her reading like the card that 1-1 wrote, and then on the back of the cards, one says 1, then she turns it over 1. So like 1.
That's a great gag, by the way.
That's what I know. It's so so of course, amuses Hazel to no end. So that's the thing. That was great. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about the 1-1 thing. I don't know. It might be overly speculative, but again, I don't know. Maybe if I'm going to speculate anything, it would be that 1-1 was a single entity that then maybe got had for the human experience or something by whoever built the train. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
that is something.
Some food for thought.
Sure. Okay. All right. Big episode 9.
All right. So I didn't know BoJack Horseman had another season, and this is the penultimate episode. Seriously, am I wrong?
Well, to be fair, we have one of these episodes every season. But
well, yeah, you're right. But it is very BoJack-esque, though. Especially this one, man. Especially the way that this one's handled.
Yes, the Origami Car. This is a big flashback episode, and our low of lows moment for Grace. This is a bold Bold move, going with the unhappy ending with Hazel when you think about it, man. Because Hazel, Grace does not make nice with Hazel at the end of this season, at the end of this episode.
No, she does not, and she's just emotionally devastated over that, and that just kind of goes to the fact that, sometimes in life you just fuck up, and some things you do are just unforgivable, and that's a very hard thing to sit with.
Oh yeah, and I got to tell you, here's my theory. What I can do really spec at the end unless you really have something to, because this is the only spec I have. Is that I think Hazel and Amelia are going to be the spinoff for the next season.
That's what a lot of people are saying, and I
not the best
surprised.
spec, but just I'm just saying it.
Sure.
Of course, the good luck Grace was nice though, like saying like good luck Grace. Where again, like the point being she's growing up a little bit too. Where again she's evolving from the codependence, but like again, like with Amelia is not a mother. I'm sure it's what the next season would be about. To Amelia, maybe like softening to the life she and Albert could have had potentially with kids and stuff. That's my blue sky speculation, but essentially. So she's basically going to be kind of on her own within that pairing. So she's growing up, and again without two, but she's like the training wheels are off for that kid. Which how could it get any worse for her? She lost everything, and she's with that sour puss Amelia, who's sure to be the best road movie buddy.
God. All right, and then of course most of the episode is just like taking place within Grace's memories and. Ah man, it's definitely some haunting stuff. The Rolodex of nannies without faces, Dragon. That was one of my favorite details.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing we kind of had in Tulip stuff, where we have like the glitches within the memory, like we're missing details. That's great. Again, the way dreams and logic and like it's like again, it's defective tape along with like dream logic. It's kind of a good mixture there.
Sure.
So yes, of course, basically what we're doing with all of this is we're facing chosen paths and choices. Of course, Simon's path as well, as he kind of gave up on Grace there, and that's how he gets away. Kind of he shows her the thing which leads to the flashback. You're never supposed to watch your own tape, as we learned from the past 2 seasons. Never watch your own tape. You're gonna fall down like an Alice in Wonderland BoJack rabbit hole. It ain't pretty. So we learn that if I'm reading it right, Tegan, let me know if I missed something here. She's like the daughter of a diplomat.
Yeah.
Raised really coldly with all the nannies. We see the ice cream shop memory. And again, Grace using her cleverness, the personable cleverness, to turn the other girls against that one girl. It's like, oh man, she's a survivor, but like, what a lonely life. And the last moment, the shoplifting. I love that we kind of explain why she always has these clips on her shirt. She always has like the security tag things, because shoplifting was the last thing she did to get attention from her parents, like a desperate cry for help, for attention from a really, really just mean, snooty parents. Like she comes from a real snooty we
I would say unattentive, just like neglectful. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We see the origin of her independence. She was just alone. She was lonely everywhere. And again, we kind of saw where it came from. Even when she like steals, it wouldn't help anything. They would still get her out of Dodge, and just the cycle would repeat. And that's when the train comes into play. At first time we saw the train inside a building, by the way. The train just kind of popped up.
And also I like the fact that the train seems like it takes on different appearances based on people's backstories and where they come from and everything. So Tulip, she was just trying to get to the camp she was going to, so it's just a regular train that pulls up. But this is more like a surrealist kind of, like fancy train to fit her lifestyle and the lifestyle she's trying to get away from.
Yes.
So, and then of course, anything else before the ending?
The pumpkin car. We got again the recontextualization of memories, and Simon was in here for a bit where they we see like the big epic like I shall don the omen of a bat sort of moment for the apex when we see the giant conductor, and of course wait a minute, that's not what it looked like. We say okay, it was just Amelia in the suit. In the first season. Again, like that's the big split as well from Simon. Simon's like, no, Simon leaves her in that really scary catatonic state at the end because he rejects, like, no, you're trying to get in my head because my memories don't suit you. It's a lie. And again, we see Simon's completely out of his gore. He's like, again, he ain't facing reality, arrogance, the youth, all that, and we just leave Grace drooling in the origami car.
And that ending is the second darkest moment of the season. Would you not agree?
I would agree.
Very, very disturbing. Speaking of disturbing,
Yeah.
the new Apex. So what about pulling the tape out of her head, man? Let's talk about
Ugh.
that.
I mean, you know something's coming with this episode. We don't even have a car at the end of this one. The
Uh-huh.
new Apex. No car. Just Apex. But yeah, the remove. Oh god, it's so nasty. It's like the moment in Iron Man where Tony Stark he
Yeah,
pulls
very much so. Yeah,
he
yeah.
pulls like the catheter. I don't know. I guess it's like a catheter thing in the nose. Like oh my
uh
god, nasty. So icky awakening from from the tape extraction for her. But again, important the way what gets her out of that too is Grace confronts her regrets, her choices, and basically culpability through Hazel in her mind. Like you did this, you got to accept this. Like, yeah, I did. She makes nice with the
moment of
origami
just
bird.
like the overlapping crying and panic from the different Graces. That moment, very, very disturbing as well.
And all the different phase of the transformation too, with the many Graces. Like one had full shell, half shell, and then of course Grace. Well, Hazel.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Hazel. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but I hear you though, because we did have two Graces too, so you're not far. Anyway, a lot of duplicates. So yeah, the origami. I like the origami birds, but it was little things. They were nice, little flying little. And she fixed the birds that Simon stepped over and everything. He stomped
Good
on.
symbolism. Good symbolism for where the two of them are.
It prepares of creation and all that.
Yeah.
So Simon, of course, Simon. We reconnect with Simon. We go back. I love how it's great too. We go full circle with the Apex car. So again, we kind of even though it's not a car, because again, it's reforming this car into the new Apex, the group name. It's still like we come home after the journey from the very first episode. We're going full circle here.
Mhm.
Ad infinitum. No, sorry, don't joke. Okay, so yes, Simon. He's like this deranged pirate king.
Right.
He looks like he grew up too, which again, like it's funny. We don't know how long she was in that state, but then again, the kids, I guess, would probably be the indicator. But they could be new kids. We don't know. Like they all blend together.
No. It's the same kids because we established some of the kids like Lucy. Lucy was the one with the light fixture. It's the same kids. I think at most like maybe a week or two has passed.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Simon without the ponytail just looks wrong. He just
That's
looks
what I'm
so.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the lack of ponytail. That's what makes him
You're
look
right.
older. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. So he's gone so far off his rocker, he's going to wheel a living person because he wants to. He basically he's adding a new stage. So you have Null and you have Void. Oh, cutesy, right? So of course, if a human sides with the Nulls, we call him a Void. We got to wheel him, which is crazy. Then we get the big showdown.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Let me get this person's Orange Crush was speaking to that at the start of the episode. But yeah, the showdown. What do you think of it, Dragon? I thought it was very appropriately shocking. Just the like, oh my god, like this season is so emotionally raw. We're literally coming to physical blows over it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Here's the thing: I wouldn't call it violent until the resolution of the fight, till the ending, to the very end. But I would say it's a gripping altercation for sure. It's like I love we have like the building tent. I love it's so well again. It's so well boarded. So narratively, it all comes together. We pay off things. We set up again. Like the death of Tuba was at the hands of the magnetic boots. The magnetic boots are very important. And that all comes together. And of course, the wheeling of it all, and of course, being like on the platform, kind of like it's like a fight on top of a train on like the bridge of the train, practically. There's a lot of train in this show, folks. You gotta delineate it a little bit here. Anyway, so here's where things got really interesting. And again, I should have mentioned this episode or two back. Let me bring it up here. The leech dog kind of goms. I think they're called gom. I think we finally got a name on them. They're called goms, but the leech dog things. That was what the cat left him to contend with. Simon.
Yeah.
So the leech dog was this perfect symbol of what brought him together in the first place, because Grace saved him from this thing. And of course, what essentially is going to tear him apart and kind of be Simon's undoing. I thought that's a very Pete Docterian kind of. It's like a Charles Muntz comeuppance for Simon. It's perfect. So that was all that. Yeah,
I mean,
all
just
perfect.
the imagery, absolutely, just very, very horrific.
But yeah, the way we
Right.
use the setting and the railing goes away and they're dangling and like we see it literally suck the life out of Simon, which that I was like utterly gobsmacked. Oh my god!
We see the skeleton dragon.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like we got, and this is the thing, we never would have gotten away with this on Cartoon
Oh
Network.
God, no! Oh my God, no,
I don't
no!
care how progressive the first two seasons of Infinity Train were and being Cartoon Network. We literally saw skeleton.
We might have gotten away with the death of Tuba. Even that's
Yeah, that I
questionable.
could buy. Okay, I can buy
But
because we cut away
no,
to like
not skeleton, not full
no.
on skeleton
No,
disintegration.
no, 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 no. At the very at the most they could have done is like air it like around time of Adult Swim for that night whenever they air that one. But
Right, right.
that's the most I get. The point being, I highly doubt it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. This is where like literally like it's such an old saying. Oh, that must be an HBO show. But no, folks, this is why HBO in your corner can help pay off in certain parts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is like the Schadenfreude. Let me ask you this, Steve. Do you think this is like the Schadenfreude we need in modern day animation? Like, if this, do you think we could use something like this on Cartoon Network with like moments like that, like just unabashedly, just to show that? It is scary beyond belief.
I mean, I definitely, I think moments like that push the medium, Dragon.
Yeah.
I always champion moments like that.
Yeah. So let's see. Of course, here my theory. I can't confirm this. I think this was set up. I think because he's covered in numbers. Because when he shoves Grace off the train, which again that was the other shocking thing too. Like she saved his life. She took the moment of change to help him, and he just shoves her off the train. He's covered completely in numbers. His face and everything more than he was before. And I think the numbers attract these leech dog things.
Oh, I could see that. Sure.
Pretty sure that was also additionally his undoing. Like that's what brought him. Oh my god, this guy's a buffet. We have comments.
Yes, we do. We do. So Golden Deer says Simon's issues with trust and codependence, the lies told to him and the heartbreak he felt it. Grace's so-called betrayal mixed together to make a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Golden Deer, what I find so powerful about that is that, like, you're right. Like, to me, it's like, I feel like Grace's betrayal, quote unquote, is, it was kind of a small potatoes thing. Like, at the end of the day, it wasn't necessarily that big of a deal, and it's an understandable lie to tell. But because of his history, because he's been through so much, because he does have these codependency issues, and he's been lied to so many times, it's the baggage that he suffers that makes the monster. And then Golden Deer goes on to say it's a combination of his own bad choices and outside factors beyond his control. And yeah, absolutely, it's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
You know what's interesting? We never learned what got Simon on the train. I kind of like that we didn't get that.
I do like that. Yeah.
One other thing with Simon, I'm going to note here before we get to kind of our epilogue ending, where we leave things with Grace. Again, Simon, he's alone because not just his refusal to change, but again, like the refusal to grow. That's kind of again, it's kind of hauntingly. It's a haunting thing with his fate that he in ditching Grace and trying to murder Grace. He is alone as he was at his most vulnerable place, which again leads him to his horrifying death. And again, in a sense, I don't know if this is the right phrasing of this, but in a sense, I think what we're saying here is like the train is determining this was a waste of life. The train deemed this is a waste of life. He's completely covered in numbers, and this is, in a sense, like the train is kind of ruling for his death because the train's all about helping people and showing their best selves. And if they have no remorse, it's like some people just won't change. Some people can just turn bad.
Sure.
That's the lesson here. That's the moral. That's the gutsy moral of the Simon character as a whole. So, folks, it ain't going to work out sunshine or rainbows every time. I hate to tell you, it won't. Sometimes you can't save people from themselves. Sometimes, the rottenness is gonna overpower them. Mm-hmm. Also, so rotten he blew up that leech dog thing too. Because remember, it blew up after it sucked out so much energy.
Right.
Like that was I think it was because again, he was so overpowered with so much of that green, numbery like badness. I don't know. Right. So Grace, she's leading the kids on a better path. No more Apex.
Yeah, and I love how I got to admit, as Dragon, did you? The one thing I was fearing is like, oh my god, like when all the kids' numbers started going down, I was like, are they gonna pull some bullshit where it's like all the kids got off the train all at once because of this? And it's like, no, they don't do that. They're on the path, but they're not there yet.
That's the thing. I never thought of it just being like instant hook because the show won me over so much. I thought they wouldn't go for an easy thing like that, where it's that great. It's basically the significance of that with all the numbers going down, but not completely. Is that it's potential. It's we're working through things. That's what the Infinity Trend's all about. Working through the process. We're figuring things out. We're getting back on track. One could say.
But yeah,
But
I absolutely love the ambiguous note that the season ends on, and I love how it's kind of it's ambiguity with a little bit of hope mixed in with the origami bird.
and one more thing with the hope. I like that Grace is not alone. She's surrounded by kids. Even though she lost Hazel, she's still surrounded by the kids.
Right, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just go ahead and. Do you have any thoughts on this, Dragon?
Oh yeah, I do. Golden Beer here says, "I wonder what was up with the gum changing color slowly before blowing up." That's kind of this thing they've had from the beginning with these leech dog gum things. They're always lit in shadow, which is a really creepy detail. I don't think it necessarily changed color, but it was lit back because it was blowing up, where you kind of saw a little bit of it as it blew up. Because that's the haunting thing. Anyway,
All right. So, final thoughts.
final thoughts for me. Again, this is further evidence that this is exactly the kind of show. This kind of show the animation greats like a Brad Bird, for example, have said we need today. Like something that respects the audience, that doesn't shy away from consequence on Saturday morning, so to speak, and is dazzling in the story department. That's what this show is. This show is absolutely something Brad Bird would go nuts for in the best of ways, and something I can absolutely get behind. This series was again, as I mentioned, it was greenlit for HBO Max, so it in the first place apparently, so it bodes well that HBO Max, in a sense, in the animation department going forward, if they can produce something like this, or at least greenlight something like this in the first place, they got their heads in the right place. This is a good omen going forward. I like to think. I've seen the other stuff they've done, but I don't know. It bodes well. I truly hope, and I will say this to you, I don't know if you know about this either. They were. There is a pitch for more seasons. Owen Dennis has said that he's teased at least eight seasons total.
Oh wow!
Now, I mean, he kind of joked about it though, because saying like if you get to 8 seasons, it looks like the infinity symbol. So I don't know how serious he is about that.
Yeah,
I like the thing. Honestly, I'd be impressed. Again, I won't play anything past him anymore. If you could get to 8, all power to him. But here's the thing. I hear it's not looking good at the moment. I hear basically it's not off the table. I hear like they've stopped production, so like they're not currently working on it. He has ideas. He's got it mapped out. He knows what he wants to do, but they haven't given him the okay yet.
Essentially, Dragon, the situation from what I know is that it all kind of lies on the ratings on HBO. The ratings on HBO Max. So I've seen a lot of people kind of like very much just kind of pleading like, hey, if you're a fan of dark animation that kind of pushes the boundaries, then watch this, support it. Get an HBO Max subscription just for this if you have to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's saying, but by God, do we need shows like this now? Don't we? We need shows like this now.
I mean, it's definitely thought-provoking stuff, Dragon, and that's one of the very, very few positive things that can come out of the shit show that we're currently in. I can say, Dragon, this has been the best year for music for me that I've had in quite a while. I'm a much bigger music guy than you are, but I've been out of the music scene for the past few years. This year, there's definitely been some releases that have really pulled me back in, and also just artistically with the animation and the just the films and stuff. I feel like we're gonna get stuff like this, man, because a divisive culture and a divisive just world and outlook pushes the boundaries and really does kind of create, look at what happened to film in the 60s, you know what I mean? So that's the one thing in this fucking mess that we find ourselves in that I'm actually kind of optimistic about is like, yeah, at least we'll get some good movies and TV out of it. So all right, I think that's a good place to end, Dragon.
Okay.
All right, so thanks a lot to Orange Crush 76 and Golden Deer Best House. You guys rock. Thanks for sticking with us. And yeah, we'll and if you like dark Cartoons. Well, we are going to be starting Blue Timber soon, but I will warn you guys, we did the good we did the good Don Bluth movies last year. This year, we're gonna kind of get into the weeds, if you will, of Don Bluth. We're gonna get into the
Dark for another reason, folks.
the Trolls of Central Park, the Pebble and the Penguins, all those good things. So that'll be fun. Rockadoodle's is like the best one that we're covering besides the last one. It's to me, it's like the funny thing is like our lineup on Blue Timber. I feel like it's bookended by at least interesting movies, if not good movies. But then the three in the middle, Dragon, are the ones that I'm worried about. Anyways, all right, folks. So thanks so much for tuning in. You guys all rock and have a good night. See you later. Turtle, turtle.